Hey, I'm Albert Hanson, aka BallJ. Some call me BallJ Beats, but I'm the rapper, the sound engineer, and everything about me is just music. Everything about me is just music. As the story goes, it's always been like I wanted to be a rapper. I mean, the worldwide best rapper in the world because I believed in myself back in the late 90s, and it had to end up me being in Persec, my senior J Soul. And it was quite interesting because he was also a rapper and he made me join the Skillions. That's a group he had with EL, J-Town, and Jinx Therapy. We formed the Skillions. And 2004-05, we came out with the Skillions mixtape. So I was a rapper back then. I was not a sound engineer because we were just trying to be an artist, artist in the hip hop game in Ghana. And we realized it was not really lucrative for the people in Ghana. People always like to listen to Ludacris or Eminem or Busta Rhymes back in the days. They really didn't believe in hip hop in Ghana. So we realized that we had to do some improvisation. So that's how I became a sound engineer. J Soul was a sound engineer, like a producer at that time. And we realized we had to really improvise. So we started putting a little bit of pidgin in our raps. So we started with pidgin music and added a little bit of pidgin into our music, and we started putting our music out there. And we started realizing it was really picking up into the Hall of Fame of music in Ghana. And Sarkodie produced, J Soul himself produced Sarkodie. I produced Guru and Kwao. And that was the new change and the new face of Ghana music getting to the next level. We bring in Azonto with other engineers I worked and also teach, like I worked with Fortune Dane. I worked with Inshona Music, and it was a whole team. And Richie was from the Lynx Entertainment, and it was a whole switch with the local vibe, fusing the commercial world, and that is where my engineering started. But I was a hip hop artist, and the whole journey was like like a Kanye West thing. Kanye West, a rapper, now turned to a sound engineer or a producer, and that's how we got here. Yeah, honestly, my real dream was not to play beats for people, was to play the instrumentals for myself and also for the Skillions group. So the fame BallJ, where your BallJ Beat, that whole thing that happened was not really my dream. But everybody loves money, and I realized my talent is is giving people food on the table and turning artists to superstars and all that as a beat maker, not a rapper. So I was like, that is good. Let me just indulge into the beat making more for other people. But originally it was just for me. So, time is money, and it takes your focus out of your career. I was still recording, and I'm still recording good songs, but your stronghold is what you should really follow and still have your dream as an artist. So I follow my stronghold in terms of business derivatives and looking at how I can produce more artists in Ghana, in Nigeria, and outside the world. And I was making money from it, so I had to grow on that pedestal. Yeah, I think from the way I'm relaxed, nowadays I'm just relaxed in music, and if I should use that energy back in the days, I don't think I'll make it. I think it's all about keep doing it. It's all about just believing in yourself and believing and seeing a picture of where you're going to be in the next few years or the future to come. So I had that from Skillions. I knew I could play the hardest beats. I believed and I knew I could fuse something from Africa to the Western world. And the challenge was not really about the people. The challenge was an internal challenge. You have to make sure you come up with something that was different from out there. So I was always trying to be different. I didn't want to sound like any other beat or any other instrumental. Also, we didn't have the codes of having your royalties in Ghana back then, releasing songs and getting what you need as a royalty. It was hard, and also getting managers and investors was quite difficult in Ghana. So that was a challenge, and it's still a challenge in Ghana now. And I believe franchise and also big companies using artists and putting them on billboards as superstars to also let people patronize their brands, also help the artists. In Nigeria, it's very big, but in Ghana, we don't have an artist from the core who a company has picked to groom to become a star. They always want to wait to see somebody blow up, then they just put them on the billboard. But in Nigeria, you can see somebody like Olamide having big deals with companies from the scratch from his career. Now he's big, and he still moves with big companies, and he has a record label. In Ghana, it's more like you got to blow up first. People don't take risks when it comes to Ghanaian music, and we don't have a lot of investments. And that is my challenge, especially with my category of music as hip hop. And even people in the Afro music are suffering in Ghana. Yeah, the only solution here is to have an embodiment that we already have, that we have people coming in and out as president of music are always changing. But I think politics are still being played here, and people choose their sides and artists and who they work with, who got to grab an award today and next week and all that. If these things are more, it's everywhere, we know. But if they are more looking at how Ghana music will get to the next level, we are going to implement a lot of systems that's going to be very beneficial to the artist. One is they themselves have to get programs and attractive systems that can attract more investors to the Ghana music and artists, and that's what we don't have. So the key players, they can sabotage you. They can tell you that you're going to blow today and not going to blow tomorrow, and we can't tell who are the black sheeps in the whole system. People have good songs they put out there, they promote their music. Sometimes they pay and they get back to me in the studio, oh yeah, I pay for like a whole month and they're not playing my music on so and so radio station. It's not that they're not playing, it's because we don't have a serious system up there that makes sure that when it's paid, you have to do what you got to do. And when they play my music on radio, I got to get my money. From the 70s in the States and in the Western world, when you play your music on radio, you're going to get money from it. And so all these systems are not in place. That's the reason why only people and the private entities who have investors can make it. If you are just an artist, you cannot knock on any record label in Ghana like you could do it in New York or maybe in Nigeria. We have a market in Nigeria that an artist can just walk in and luckily can get a deal. In Ghana, you have to get a friend or somebody who's going to help you a little bit. So when you get some pedestal, that is when the big companies come in Ghana. So I think it's from the system, and everybody knows it's from the system. The answer is we need the right president of Musica or Gamro to make sure all these things are in place for the artists to be praised, because artists are like kings. When you see them on the stage, you can watch like one person and a lot of people watching. So companies work on them. Coca-Cola work with actors and musicians. In Ghana, they want to wait for you to blow up before. And I think we need a system that can push artists very easily. All the artist needs to do is just produce good music and not to suffer and walk around town looking for an investor. There should be a lot of record labels connected to the panel on awards to make sure they can. And I think the reality shows were working for us. You know, we worked with Toby 2015, he won 100,000 and all that, but we need more of that. And some of the promises come through, but all we need is promotion, and we need more of these reality shows too. You know, with our time starting like 2000s, there was no TikTok or anything. So people think that it was hard for us. It's still hard today. It's probably the same thing. What the only difference now is that you got a chance to blow up easily now, but there was too much traffic on that method. Like back in the days, you should have a record label to hold maybe VIP back in the days. And when their songs are being signed as, I mean, if you got to deal with a record label, that's it. You're going to blow up. Even if your music is crap, you know, because you're going to be on the few stations. Back in the days, the stations were few, the TV stations were few. So when they pay, it covers the whole of Ghana. I'm talking about Ghana in precise. So the difference is, back in the days, music business was lucrative, especially if your sound is good and you have a deal. If you don't have a deal, you have to go around paying payola, and because your money don't reach up to, and that same story is today. The only difference today, me and you know, TikTok, social media, Instagram, Facebook, and all that. Everybody got a chance to show something, but the problem with that now too is there's too much traffic. So we have people blowing up for 3, 4, 6 months and they are gone. Back in the days, you can have somebody blowing up for like 5 years somebody can blow up like a whole year with just one song, 2 years with just one song. Nowadays, you can have people blow up today, and the next 3 weeks, you got a new song in town because everybody got a chance now. It's a good chance with social media, but there is high traffic over there, and record labels still work today. And most of the record labels are not really happy because of this social media, because they could be pushing an artist, distributing the songs on marketing and everything, and an artist will come up and blow up on TikTok, and the whole what do you call it, attention just switches, and the record labels don't really like that. So what the record labels are doing now is they're working with the social media promotions, and at the same time they are doing their distributions with the Sony and all that. So record labels are still working just like back in the days, but the upcoming has a chance to put their music out there, and they have a chance to be heard from your views and your likes. But how long are you going to stay there? And that's when you keep your brand to the next level, keep recording good songs. And even there's another change in terms of recording. Back in the days, we can record a song like once in a week, one good song, or you can write all your songs in a house and come and record it. But now we have a lot of studios, and even the sound quality has changed because we have new equipment. But anybody can just mix a song, and because of the advantage of a good system, people have that standard music. So we have a lot of good music in the system now, even without too much of a mix. But back in the days, you really have to mix well because we didn't have big mixers. You have to be in a very big studio to work with a very big mixing console, and which was hard. And if you want to work at home back in the days, you're going to have a poor mix. But now you can have your laptop and everything is easy. But there's traffic to that. We have a lot of people doing that. So the record labels are still significant in the picture. Yes, there was a big change because the world is now small now, and it's all about social media again. It's like we are being heard. We are being heard. Like it's like way back we had high life. People came to learn high life in Ghana, went back to their countries, and they called it different genres, Afrobeat and all that. And we know the roots of Afrobeat, like they came back 1967 with Fela and the trumpeter for Africa 10. They came to learn, and then now they took it to their countries, and they knew it was from a place in Africa. So they were not selfish. They called it Afro beats, and that's why we have the Afro music, Afro beats, and all these genres coming from Ghana. And Ghana was a good contribution, but the difference now is we are all trying to take the lion from the jungle, and Nigeria has put the lion in the zoo. So it's like Ghana is like a jungle, and Nigeria has turned Afro music to a business. So the new change now that because of social media, those with the money, those with investment, those with the advertisement, those with the music being published and being distributed with money are being heard, all with the advantage of social media. But the truth is, it all started from places like Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, Mali. That's where the real indigenous African Afropolitan music started. So the change now in terms of marketing is social media has made the world, and DJ Khaled hear people like the Black Sharif and all that. And it's all with the power of social media that we are now in the BT Awards and nominated for Grammy Awards and all that. Even if we had social media back in the days, it would still be the same answer because we would have been doing the same things now. And what makes us blow up is not just social media. It's social media and investment. All these artists hitting from and blowing up from Nigeria and South Africa with Amapiano are in record labels and doing distributions. So the social media is an advantage that Ghanaians might blow up if it was back then, if social media was there back then. But there's still something missing. The record labels are not pushing the artists to the next level. So Black Sherry, for example, is a big tool from social media results. But he jumps into a record label after that. Because look at it very well. Every artist that blows up from social media, if he's left on social media, that's when the doomsday come. Because music is business. So right after social media, you should quickly get into business. Black Sherry got into business with management, I think a couple of times, and he's everywhere. So it's good music, social media, music distribution and marketing. So it's not just about social media, it's just a pedestal. And what the love you've shown to the game is going to give you a result in social media, but that's not where it ends. It's just an easy path. So back in the days, if we had social media in Ghana, Nigerians would still take over because they have investment. It's not about the music. Ghana has good music, but we don't have investors who invest in music. So social media will give the artists a chance. And I don't even think Black Sherif is working with a whole team from Ghana. Even Black Sherif has Nigerians in his team. And that's what we need in Ghana. It's not just social media. So take it back. Ghana will still be behind Nigeria. And that's a fact. Even if social media was back there in the 90s or early 2000s. Unless we change and implement a system that looks like we are really into business. It's only a few record labels like Sounds of Destiny, Lynx Entertainment, and maybe Rough Town with Wendy Shea and Ebony. These are the ones that are really pushing artists. The rest are just playing games. Look at someone like Patapaa. He's another tool of social media. But Patapaa is not in the record label now. If Patapaa was in Nigeria, nobody could touch Patapaa because we have an art and we have a record label that can touch him, hold him, and take him to the next level. We don't have a lot of that in Ghana. That is the problem. Social media is just a tool. Social media is just a tool. But after that, where do you go? As a question. The Burna Boy, Wizkid, and Davido things is a good picture. It's beautiful. We keep asking why Ghanaians cannot do that. Ghanaians are already doing that, but we don't have a lot of artists like that going that far. Look at Kitty. Kitty has a song with Tiger. We are sometimes in Ghana thinking that we are not that big. When you go to Nigeria, they talk about Kitty. They talk about Fuse. And the reason why you talk about Kitty and Fuse is that the only difference between Kitty and Fuse is that they are into serious management and plugs. I mean, plugins to different networks of music distribution that Burna Boy and the Wizkids have. Just that the Burna Boy and the Wizkids has a upper level of connections. So it's all about connections. And number two, the music. Nigerian music, sometimes you don't even understand the language, but they have a tone that looks very commercialized to the Western world. Ghanaians have more of a country side of music. And we have to just put it to the next level. That's why we have people like Black Sherif getting that Ghanaian tone on a drill beat. And the drill beat is from the Western world. And he tries to push a Ghanaian tone on it. Black Sherif doesn't sound like a Nigerian. He sounds like a Ghanaian. Listen to him very well. It sounds like really, really like a Ghanaian. We need more of that. Now, most of the Ghanaians I see now are sounding like Nigerians. So it's like, you're not the original person. Like, we came to your country, we took your beat. We came to Ghana, we took your beat, we take it back 1969, we call it Afrobeat, and now we are singing a Nigerian melody on it. Remember, Nigerians are also Africans, so they have the African drum on it. So when Burna Boy comes with a song like that, you as a Ghanaian, you're going to be familiar with it and you love it. But you're not going to hear a high life tone on it. You're only going to hear a high life beat that is called Afrobeat. They take your guitars off, they put their guitar on it or put an R&B guitar that the Western world would like, and they sing their Nigerian tone on it. And you in Ghana will be struggling because you still want to sing a high life song in the old way. What we have to do as Ghanaians, like people like Kevin Boy, look at Kamido, doing well. So I can tell you that, I promise you that if we keep on having people like Fuse, Kitty, Kamido, and Kevin Boy, in the next 5 years, Ghana will take over. It's a gradual thing. Ghana is high life, hip life, and hip hop. And Nigeria is high life now called Afrobeat. So it's like they took it from us, but we're still Africa. So it's no war, it's beautiful. But the only way for us to get to the Grammys is for us to sound a little bit Western mixed with our Ghanaian tone. Now, most Ghanaians sound like Nigerians, which is not original. You look at Akwabwa. Akwabwa is sounding very high life, but the only problem with me personally with Akwabwa is he has to get beats that are more Western and he put his voice on it, a little bit of English. I think he has English songs, and also the team for Akwabwa should just get up. And I think Ghana will be, these are the artists that can really take Ghana to the next level. We have the chance, but I think we need more tools in our record labels. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I don't think Ghanaians are not that selfish. I don't believe Ghanaians are selfish. We have selfish people in every country, but Ghanaians really share. But the question is, when they share with you, do you have the money to pay Chris Brown? In Nigeria, we have this oil investors investing in all these artists. I give you the link. I give you Chris Brown's number. to have a song to do with. And it's possible for a Nigerian to feature Chris Brown, even possible for 5 Nigerians artists to feature Chris Brown. We can have people in Ghana bringing Chris Brown, but we're not going to have a lot of artists able to feature Chris Brown. So in the conclusion, we are going to say Ghanaians don't like sharing. It is business. Chris Brown wouldn't come to Ghana and feature an artist that is not doing well, unless personally he wants to, but mostly it's in business. And in the business world in Ghana, most of the artists don't have that money to feature Chris Brown. So it's not really about a connection. It's really about, can you foot the bill? And we are really behind. Oh yeah, it's good. Look at Beyonce and Shatta Wale. It's great. Look at Burna Boy and Black Sherif. It's good. Kamido is everywhere. So we keep playing our beats and also serving the artists and putting Ghana on the map. But I think what we need now is our own sound. I keep on saying it. We came in the jungle with our sound called High Life. Now it is called Afrobeat in the Zoo by Nigerians. And we all know we are Afrobeat, but it's not a fight. We are all African. So let's take African music to the next level, but we need our sound. Go to South Africa, it's Amapiano. Go to Nigeria, they say Afrobeat. Come to Ghana, it's hip life or high life. If we're going to come out with something like Azonto, we can come back with it again. It's all about we having a panel understanding that this is the genre we want to stand on. I keep on saying this. When Azonto was out, people were like, yo, Azonto is the biggest in Africa. That Wapaganga style did a remix. I mean, he did a song just like an Azonto. It was having billion views. That was Azonto from Ghana, with likes of Sarkodie, Guru, EL, and lots of artists. But we didn't put it inside our categories of awards. Up to today, we still have the categories of reggae music in Jamaica. But today we have reggae music in Ghana and we dropped Azonto. That is a problem. We have Afrobeat and Nigerian awards. What happened to Azonto? We don't understand the business. We just think that when we make money from a genre, put it into your categories. We can hold Azonto as a genre in Ghana. So when somebody from the diaspora comes to Ghana, we know there's something called Azonto. Nobody remembers Azonto now. Everybody's saying Afrobeat. Maybe today, Azonto would have been called Afrobeat. And whatever we are hearing today could have still been called Azonto. So the next time Ghana get a hit song, we got to name it and put it in the awards. Yeah, that's it. It could have been like, my pain is just that people don't understand music the way I do and some few people in Ghana do. Azonto was our chance to blow it up. Fuse did it, Guru did it, a lot of people did it. But the problem is people thought it was a dance. Fine, it was a dance, but we still should have used that opportunity to put it inside the categories. Let it be in the list. That is the whole, we had to work all over again, and Al-Qaeda came and Al-Qaeda made the whole thing worse because we were Ghana don't really understand categories in terms of music. They really understand dance. Because since I was a kid, I heard Bobby Brown dance, I heard the Shoe Peru dance and all that. So Ghana is all in categories of types of dance. So now we have this dance, tomorrow that dance, but they don't really look at the genre of music. And that is our downfall. So the next time, even if a dance comes to Ghana, we should try and put it into the categories. And what I'm saying, they hear it, they will not do it. The Nigerians will take it and we say they are better than us. We are all the same. We are just not doing our homework well. Yes, I've been on a halt now. I mean, a great pause. I've been in the kitchen trying to get a new sound for where I come from, that's Ghana. And we try to come up with the Azonto era. It was good. Al-Qaeda was good. Now it's Afrobeats everywhere. And we also part of the Afrobeats. But I feel like, yo, Ghana, man, we got to put something out there from Ghana and still do Afrobeats because we do hip hop, we do everything, but we got to put something out there. 2024 is coming, and I feel like all these artists in Ghana are all under the umbrella of Afrobeats, from Kamido, Kelvin Boy, Black Sherif, and all that. They are all under the umbrella of Afrobeats. I'm not saying that's all they do, but their biggest songs are under Afrobeats. And it's not a problem, but let's find ourselves. Let's do something and say, oh, this is from Ghana. You might think it's not important, but at the end of the day, when we are about to go to the Grammys and the BET, they'll ask you, what is your originality? You know, so that is my homework now. I'm trying to come out with a new sound, even though I'm still doing the sound that people would request for me to do. I'm trying to get a new sound that I'll get to the artist so we can have something from Ghana. I believe High Life is still alive, so let's just keep it alive. With me, what I'm about to do now is I'm just trying to drop an album, a hip hop album with a little bit high life tunes and Afro beats, of course, because we all following the commercial, what is happening, and gradually we come up with our own. So originally I'm having a hip hop album and we'll be dropping singles. I'm now with the SODs, the Sons of Destiny Records in the UK, based in the UK, and working with me as BallJ. And I'm still running the New Africa. So it's going to be interesting. I've been quite mute for a while, but I'm going to come out with good music. And those who are missing my music, as BallJ, you better watch out. I'm bringing more hip hop songs and Afro beats to the world. Now there's a new category in the Grammy Awards, Best African Music Performance. And it's mostly going to be Afro beats, because looking at it annually, what has been everywhere is Afrobeats. So what do we have to also show that we can do Afrobeats? Because Afrobeats from Nigeria, Nigerians are Ghana, are in Africa, fine. But what I believe is we should now come with artists that has the same Afrobeat vibe and call it hip life or call it high life. Why are we so scared of that? Because to me, I believe Afrobeat was everything Africa. I never knew it was from Nigeria. Because back in 2016, I was doing songs pushing Afrobeat, or even on my hip-hop Afrobeat songs. And nobody was saying nothing. And I never thought of Nigeria something. We love Nigeria, okay? But if Nigeria is saying Afrobeat now, we should also say high life, even if you are playing an Afrobeat. So now the competition becomes like, I heard an Afrobeat and it's called Afrobeat. And I heard Kelvin Boy doing an Afrobeat, but it's called High Life. Then now we're going to see who is who and who is what. I mean, that is what I believe in. Because if tomorrow Black Sherif, or let's say tomorrow Davido comes with a song sounding just like Afrobeat, and Burna Boy comes with a song sounding just like Afrobeat, then maybe Thames has another song sounding just like Afrobeat, and they call it High Life, every Ghanaian will start liking High Life now. We got to believe in ourselves, because it's a name put on it as Afrobeats. Fine, that's their name. But I didn't know Nigeria as Afrobeats, honestly. And a lot of people didn't know that. Everybody knew Afrobeat was an African thing that was everywhere, coming from Ghana, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria itself as Afrobeat. But today, we all know that the originality of Afrobeat started Genesis from Nigeria, which I never knew about it. So if so, all these artists in Ghana should be proud of themselves and come out with song and still call it high life. Can you do that? Can you really do that? That is a question for you. If you can really stand on high life for 20 and more years, like Nigerians are still saying reggae, then that makes you a real Ghanaian musician. Oh, for real. Black Sherif is Ghana's sure bet in winning a Grammy, because he's got a team. He's got a distribution. He's got people to back him up. And ultimately, he's got to write songs. So it's not just about his music. It's about the whole entourage, you know. And I believe he's going to grab a Grammy. Unless something comes distorting what he's doing. Like, let's say another artist comes and this and that. And it happens all the time. But I think he's going to get categories and even grab the Grammy, because DJ Khaled had Black Sherif. Think about it. That's how far Ghana has gone to. So I still record music, and I'm trying to use the social media the right way. I don't want to come out and just do anything that everybody's doing. If you want to blow up as a young artist coming, use social media as the means. But remember, social media is going to print and have a footprint on your brand, and it's going to stick forever. If you do wrong things, it's going to stick in the minds of people forever. And it's a very nice tool, but delicate balance. So do good songs. Don't just pour songs out there every day. We know the algorithm and all these things work out for you to get more views. But it's all about taking your time and getting the right song, get the right team. And in Ghana, what we should do now is that most of these artists should start searching for investors. It's not just about social media. Otherwise, you're just going to blow today. The next month, you are gone. So that's my advice for all these artists. It's still the same thing. It's still music business. You need a manager, you need a road manager, you need an advisor, a lawyer, you need what do you call it? Online stores managers, you need curators, you need playlists, you need all these things. It's not just about what do you call it, creative content. You can create content, but if somebody created content more than you, you are off the next day. But if your music is good and you have good what do you call it, promotion and marketing, I think that is what will take you to the next level. So do your good music, but make sure you have the right team, and that is the hard part of it. That's the hard part of it. So you still got to do that. Social media is just here to make things more easier for you, but there's traffic over there. So search your record label. Yo, you already know it's BallJ Beats. I hope you take my advice. Thanks for catching up with me. This is 3 Extra. And that's what it is, man. Real entertainment.